Hey Slips, welcome back to another pre-show, I guess. So today I'm going to be interviewing captains from both Dynamic and MMG Esports. First up, I'm here with Ray, captain of Dynamic.
Hey, what's up?
And so thanks for coming onto the show today, Ray. So,
Thanks for having me.
Let's start off with an easy question. What do you think of the league so far, Ray?
It's very interesting. Last year I was in a league or a tournament, not too sure which one of the two, but I enjoyed it. But this is much more interesting and much more in depth into it, and not in depth, but more into it. I'd say that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the players in the league are very involved in it's like my team, Heatwave, has been very, it's been very interesting, getting new players. Do you have new players on your team that you haven't met before, and you're learning how to navigate?
I mean, my whole team is new.
Oh, really?
I mean, I had a team last year, and then the ownership was transferred to another player, and so I ended up going from captain to sub, and then that team disbanded. It was Dynamic, but it was just my old team basically, and so I was like, I'm gonna restart it, and so I restarted it, got some friends who I already play Rocket League with, and had to find some new players. Billy and Camo on my team, my two mains, are people who I actually play with on a regular, so those are easy to find. A couple, there's two new ones on there, Comdog and Magellan. He's a new person I met in casuals, so it was very hard searching for those players to see who would work with my team, who would work with me, who would be a good match. And so, yeah, everyone on my team is basically new except for the main players.
And do you think you guys have had a good time? You have good player chemistry,
Yeah.
So far? That's good.
Our chemistry and playing with each other, and was just chemistry in general, is pretty good. Got the trash talking to each other occasionally here and there. But overall, it's good chemistry. Better than I hoped, actually.
That's great to hear. So who would you say is the best player / MVP on your team?
Honestly, that has to go... I have more than one in the sense, it's for different skills. Comdog, he's better in skills-wise. Overall, he's just a better player in skills. But we all basically main twos. The only person that mains threes is Magellan. So in overall team playing, a team player, and overall pretty good in general, was any mashup, would be Mag. So it's honestly a hard pick to choose my top MVP player, but they all have their individual skills that shine through the team when we play.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then you guys can all show your strengths while you're playing.
Yeah.
It all works.
Indeed.
So you said that you haven't had any experience playing against MMG Esports thus far.
Not of my knowledge. I may have been last year if they were a team last year, but this year, no.
Okay.
Not with my current team, no.
So we just took a look at the roster. What do you think of it? And how do you think it compares to the rest of the league?
It's higher rankings, but honestly, me personally, I don't really give a crap about ranks. They could have high ranks, they could have low ranks. It doesn't really matter, because ranks are ranks. You could have a bad day and it'll bring it down, and then even though you're really good. I've had that happen to me in two so many times, where I'm just really good, and I have a bad mood, bad day or whatever, and it brings me down 2 ranks. Or sometimes I'm on fire one day when I'm usually not that good, and I'll go up 2 ranks or 1 rank. So just because they, as I am looking here, they have 2 champs and some diamonds. So their team looks more on the power side on MMR, but it doesn't really frighten me in a sense, or it doesn't worry me or frighten me, because they could have had a bad day, good day, it doesn't really matter. what happens is true actions on the field, not on paper, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up, because like some people might not be playing ranked as much as other people's, but could still be really skilled.
Yeah, that.
So yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so another question I have is, if you could make a dream team with players from both your team and MMG, how many of yours would get in versus theirs? What do you say?
This answer isn't only because I don't know their team. It's just because of the fact that myself, personally, I prefer to play with people who I know. I don't really care about, I play randoms and duos and like other playlists in Rocket League, but like that's not what I mean. If I'm gonna do like an actual team where I'm gonna be playing multiple matches with people and I want to like go far with my team, I'd rather it be with people who I like talk to and enjoy talking to than random people who are good at the game or that I've like never talked to. Like, I'd rather it be consisting of my team right now. So if I had to choose a dream team, I'm already having my dream team, honestly. Like, I wouldn't really switch anybody out or take anyone out or replace anybody, because everyone who I am currently in a team with, I have good chemistry with and I have fun with playing with. So for me, I put fun over like skills and all that.
Interesting. That's a good answer. I feel like that's a lot different than what a lot of other teams would say.
Because you can have skill, but you can also just not have a good chemistry with that person. Or even if you do have a good chemistry with them, it's still like, if they're skilled where they're higher than you, like way higher than you, you're going to feel like you're holding them back anyway. So like, why not just stick with your team and like stick at a level where you're good?
Yeah, that's a good answer. It's a good take on the like usual, like just wanting to build like the most efficient team.
Yeah.
But if you did have to focus just on skill, what would you say, like based on how the players play the game?
The thing is, for me, was the amount of no, it wouldn't make a difference, honestly. Like, they can have higher MMR, they could be grand champs. I really wouldn't give a shit. Your team will have a higher skill if your chemistry with each other is better. And that only really happens when your team has good chemistry in general, just not like playing with each other, but just relationship wise and out of gameplay. So like, if I had to choose it on skill base wise, since I have so much like training, or not so much training, but more time with my team, we have more passing plays. We know how each other play. We know what we would do we know what our teammates would do when we're playing. So we know what passing plays to do. We know what aerials to pop up for like someone to air dribble. Like, skill wise, we can only go up if we practice, not switch out teams mates.
I feel that. Yeah, so that really definitely shows like you're very confident in your team's dynamic. Name of the team also. Based on what you know, what do you think would be the final score of your matchup this week?
That's difficult to answer, honestly. I don't know about the score itself, but I think it's going to be a good match. I mean, we're all both in D1, so that means something. Like, we're good enough to be in Div 1, so... Or not Div 1, but, yeah, Division 1, whatever. Same difference. We're good enough to be in Div 1, so... that means we hold a candle to them, and they hold a candle to us. So I don't know how the score is going to play out. Don't know if we're going to have a good day, bad day. Either one of us. Maybe we're not warmed up. Whatever the case is, don't really know. But all I know is that it's going to be a good game, and I can't count either our teams out.
Yeah, I can definitely tell you're not too overconfident, but you definitely have like a good faith in your team. Nice.
I try to not be cocky. Definitely leads to losses.
Gonna jinx it.
I know.
Where do you think that your opponents will finish their time in the league? Like, do you think they'll make it more closer to the end?
Well, I'm pretty sure they were one of the top teams of last league, right? Am I correct on that statement?
I believe so.
Yeah, so based on that, I feel like they're gonna land pretty high. But hey, we got some new teams. I'm a new team, so we'll see if we take it before they do.
For sure. Gotta root for your own team.
Yeah.
What words of advice would you have for your opponents before the matchup?
Advice. Okay. I guess most of our team is pretty good with aerials, so I guess watch the skies. I don't know. Not much. Not much else I could say.
That's fair. Let's just see if they can take that advice if they're watching this before the matchup.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good luck to your team for this match. Yeah, thanks for coming to this interview.
Thanks for having me.
Hey guys, I'm back again for the second part of the interview. I'm here with a player of MMG Esports. Most of you know her, Luna.
Hello. Hello. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm peachy.
That's great.
That was so awkward.
Okay. So we're going to be interviewing you about your upcoming matchup against Dynamic. How are you feeling about the...
Wait, let me ask you a question. Do you really need to interview me, or is it just going to be like, it's kind of just going to be, one-sided? It's already, you already know what you need to know.
What do I need to know, Luna?
It doesn't matter what the score says. We're beating them on, no matter what. It doesn't matter what Dynamic does. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter how many times they practice. My team's better, and they always will be better.
Wow. I love the confidence coming from you today. So let's turn the focus a little bit more to your team. We are going to get a little into this interview about your team. Who do you say is the MVP of MMG?
Very definitely. He's a really amazing player, great in ones, great in twos, but just lacking in threes. So we've been working with him to try to get his threes game up.
Nice. So why would you say that Barry is the MVP?
He's just overall really good with passing to the middle and, getting passes from incredible angles, amazing shots, and just getting dunks on top of people. And he's also our freestyler of the team.
Do you think he would play a big part in taking the win?
Oh, definitely. He's one of my favorite players to play with on the team. Besides the owner, and I'm not saying that for legal reasons. However, he's one of my favorite players to play with.
What do you think of the league in general so far?
I mean, it's kind of one-sided at this point. You got my team up there. That's pretty much it. It's my team.
Your team who you believe
my team.
Is going to the end?
Don't even worry about the other teams. Just my team. Look, Focus on MMG, okay? We're going to sweep this entire competition, and we're going to take this win. Simple.
Okay. So, if you do win, what do you think that
No, Shay. There is no if.
Win?
It is when.
What would you do with the $100 prize, your team?
Well, actually, and I've actually been talking about this for a while. There's a friend of mine who has some issues trying to get, her living situation underway, but I was going to use whatever little bit I got from the prize, because I was going to give it mostly to the team so they could start, making merch and stuff. But I was going to use whatever I got to go and, give it to someone who actually needs it. There's a lot of people out there who aren't as fortunate as us to get the chance to play, and all those teams need a refresher. So I would probably hold maybe a smaller tournament for the lower players.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually. Hey,
but what'd you expect me to say? Blow it on fucking Xbox?
The $20.
All of $20 to spend on Xbox. Yeah, that'll give me what? Maybe 1,000 credits? Maybe 2,400 credits?
Maybe.
No, I'm not gonna waste my time buying Xbox stuff. I'll give it to people who need it.
So, do you have any experience playing against Dynamic?
I do not. However, I do have conversations with other teams, and they've played Dynamic, and they told me that they play pretty sloppily.
Dang.
So pretty accurate, and that we can just counter their mistakes pretty easily.
So, what do you think of their roster, and how do you think it compares to the rest of the league?
Now, would you like me to be full-on toxic, or just completely calm down a bit?
I think be honest, but also give some insight on what you think in comparison to the other teams. Do you think they even have a chance? How far do you think that they're going to get in the league compared to the other teams?
I don't think they're going to get far. I'll be completely honest. That team is completely dog water.
Is that just compared to you, or is that compared?
Oh no, that's compared to the rest of the teams. I'm pretty sure even the lower division could beat them.
So you think the roster is
a joke? Yes.
A joke. I see. So if you had to make a dream team of your players from both teams, you think how many of you guys?
I'm not grabbing any dynamic players. They're all dog water.
If you had to pick one, do you think there's one that like would stand out to you over the rest?
I don't know. Ray's got like managerial. You know, he's got his team under control. But you know, if you're gonna put together a team, at least give us a challenge. So I guess I'd take Ray. I guess I'd settle for Ray.
Do you think Ray is like going to be carrying his team like to any of his matches?
I'd like to think that the captain's the best player, but who am I kidding? I'm the best player on the team. So like. And I'm not the captain, so I think definitely Ray is going to be the one I'm going to definitely watch for, though.
Okay, he's the one to look out for.
Definitely one to watch.
I see.
Nope.
So for your matchup, like that's coming up, what do you think the final score will end up being?
I think it's going to be. I'll be completely honest with you. I think genuinely it's going to be a 3-1, but I'd like to take it. I'd like to take the sweep. I'd like to go 3-0. But I'd like to completely demolish this team.
So do you think it will be like an easy sweep, or do you think maybe they'll like put up a bit of a fight and like?
I don't know. From what I've heard, the team is unpredictable. So.
Okay.
Although I will promise you one thing: MMG's coming out on top, whether we have to play dirty or play smart.
Okay. Do you think that Dynamic has good team chemistry? Like from what you've heard? No?
No.
Okay. Do you think team chemistry is important when playing in the game?
Oh, most definitely. You know, you got to know around the field. You know, you got to know where the boost is. You got to know how to rotate. You don't rotate ball side. You have to rotate outside. You don't want to rotate towards the ball because then you're going to give your teammate a really shitty position. So team comp is everything in this game. You can practice freestyles, aerials, double taps, musty flicks, whatever the hell you want to practice. But when it all comes down to it, and it's big leagues, they're not going to help you. They might help you 1 or 2 times, but team chemistry is your key.
Yeah, that is well said. If you could give advice to your opponent before starting the matchup, I think you would say to them?
I suggest practicing for the next 12 hours.
Well, by the time they see this, they won't have 12 hours, so.
Oh, when will they see this? Oh, like 30 minutes? Perfect. Try to just get with your team for the next, however long and until your demise is. Maybe you'll have a chance.
Okay. We'll see if they will take your advice to heart. Well, thank you so much for coming to this interview, Luna. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I hope you all win.
Hello, everyone. K7 here with can't really talk today. I apologize. Hey, Toast, how you doing?
Not bad. I'm excited to get some Rocket League action going in today, and it's another week, second week of the big league that we got going here at Slip. So I'm really excited. Yourself, my friend?
Hanging in there. It's been a few weeks. And as you can tell, I'm getting tongue-tied already. That's not good. But we got ourselves some fantastic matchups coming up. First off, we have Dynamic versus MMG, followed up by RFE and Milk Gang. So for our first match, Dynamic and MMG, who do you got?
You know, it's as we're still kind of in the few weeks here, it's hard to make some predictions, but if I'm going to pick one out the gate, I'm going to go with Dynamic here. And what I'm really looking for, at least when I look at the two teams, we take a look at the two stats between the two teams here. This is what I really want to break down. Because Dynamic, they've got a really well-balanced team of Diamond 2s and 3s here. And some might say, well, Toast, what are you thinking? Because on MMG, they've got some higher diamonds. They've even got some grand champs. However, I'm going with that underdog mentality right now. I'm going with that underdog, rooting for the underdogs, and seeing if they can pull it out strong here when they're facing up against a higher level of competition. Because that emblem only means so much. At the end of the day, it really comes down to who's getting the ball in the goal.
That's true. That's true. But I will have to go against you on this one. For my pick will be MMG Esports. As you said before, they do have the higher MMR going today. Overall, they do have their starting players. I believe they have 2 champions and a Diamond 1. And while Diamond 1 may be the lowest out of the entire set of starters that we have today, Kevin plays above his level. So, oh, well, how about that? Well, in that case, Kevin, while he does play above his level, all the subs are really, really good as well. We have Joey the Wolf and Young Curry, both in the high diamonds as well. So, in that case, it's going to be 2 champions and a high diamond versus a team of diamonds. So I really got to go with a stronger hand on this one and go with MMG Esports. And thank you for the update, G.
I think that's certainly going to spice things up already. It's interesting to see how the teams are going to manage their substitutes here, especially as we're before we've even jumped into the first game. We'll see if they kind of swap them in and out depending on the performance. So we'll have to see how it works out. But I guess we'll see who comes out on top and who's right at the end of this.
Indeed. And it looks like everyone has now filed into the room. Now we're just waiting on the teams to be formed. And it looks like Dynamic is filing in first, followed by MMG. For Dynamic, we have Billy the Serpent, Moglin, and Ray Genezy versus MMG Esports with Barry Beanboy, RX8 Knight Rider, and waiting on to see who's left. Looks like Little Tiny Chan. But Little has not joined the arena yet. And we are started. Up there they go. And we have our tip off there with Barry Beanboy taking the tip off, but Billy the Serpent coming in hot, going for the shot, but gets blocked in the air. Moglin coming up midfield and for the shot and saved. And we got RX8 Knight Rider reading the ball, bouncing it trying to get to off the wall, but there's Barry chipping it over the midfield, going forward. Missed the cross, but Ray gets back in time for the save, and Billy trying to get back, overshoots it, and RX8 brings it home.
That's a great opening goal to start it off. Not even 30 seconds in. Just coming on the corner right there. You kind of almost get caught looking right there. Billy the Serpent, not a good way to start it off if you're Dynamic. Need to pull it back early on here.
Not at all. And here we have our next tip-off with Ray winning it, but RX8 getting the rebound. But there's Moglin midfield flying in hot, pushing it into MMG territory. They're keeping the pressure on, but Lil takes control of the ball as they're bouncing it forward, chipping it across midfield, but right into the waiting arms of Barry. Go for the shot, chips it over, off the crossbar, and in. The momentum carried it forward, and the ball landed home, and MMG taking a 2-0 lead with more than 4 minutes left to play.
Not quite the full slam dunk that you see nowadays, but they'll certainly take that one to give them a nice 2-goal lead here. We're not even 1 minute gone.
Not at all. But here's our next tip-off. We have Dynamic winning it once again, but RX8 missing it off the wall, but Barry coming in, basically helping out his teammate on that miss. Lil going for the misdirect, but Barry gets to it first, going for the shot, but there's Billy knocking it into the corner. Billy the Serpent juggling it in the air, getting past one defender, but not able to get it past Tiny. Little Tiny Chan getting it forward, but then gets chipped over their own head as Billy comes off the wall. Ball's bouncing off the ceiling into the ground, into the waiting arms of Ray. Ray knocking it into the corner, going for the cross, doing something, but RX8 is there in time, making the stop. And RX8 taking out Moglin, but Moglin gets contact with the ball, keeping it into MMG territory. And Barry missed timing that one, getting a little bicycle kick going, trying to do something with it. Ball gets dead in midfield, gets bumped out of the shot into Ray's hands. Ray go for the cross, but RX8 is there with the clear. Ball gets shot deep into Dynamic territory. RX8 trying to follow through, but unable to do so as the ball just gets spiked into the air. But there's Little Tiny Chan, go for the cross, and the goal with Barry! Barry coming in hot for his second goal of the game, and Little Tiny Chan with their third assist. Dang!
Gotta love that corner pass. And playing off the wall is such a hard talent, and when you're looking at the diamond range, not even some diamonds can play off the wall as well as we just saw right there. So very well done.
Ooh! Oh man, that was a very, very quick opportunity there for Dynamic, trying to do something off a miscue there by MMG.
Oh
but
my
MMG
goodness.
is able to recover and ends up getting crossbarred for their troubles. Unfortunate break there for MMG and Dynamic. Two really good opportunities, both stopped. All right, but Lil Tiny Chan going for the cross again. Nice little ceiling shot, tipped off the ceiling, but Ray is not fooled this time. But there's Barry knocking it midfield. RX8 unable to get there in time as the ball gets bounced by Dynamic into the wall. But there's Lil Tiny Chan midfield knocking into the corner once again, chopping it forward, but Billy keeps it into the corner, disrupting that play from happening. Ray trying to do something, but overshoots it. But there's Billy the Serpent knocking it from midfield, but then gets shot into the corner. Ray going for the shot, misses it, and Lil Tiny Chan gets the control of the ball off the wall. Nice little aerial juggler right there into Dynamic territory. Barry going for the shot, but gets looks like a little miscue there. And the ball just gets bounced back in fourth in midfield. But Lil Tiny Chan, nice interception there, but Moglin is there with the read and knocking it midfield once again. RX8 intercepting it. That looked like a shot, but I don't know what the hell happened there. But all right, there's Barry Beamway getting the recovery, knocking it into the corner and into midfield. Ray just disrupting the play midfield. But here's the cross and no one's there. Ray is able to chip it out of the way of RX8. He was going full on that one. But there's Barry Beamboy knocking it into the corner once again. And here's the cross, and Ray gets back in time with Moglin. And RX8, though, making the recovery. Here's the cross again, and saved by Billy the Serpent, getting himself blown up for their troubles, knocking it into the side once again and again. And we have a nice little shot in the corner inside MMG territory. Ball's going back and forth, back and forth. Nothing's happening yet, but Billy gets the ball once again. Here's the cross, knocking into the corner. Ray trying to do something with it. Nice little 50 there. And here's the cross for Dynamic, and saved by, I didn't see who that was. I think that was RX8 who made that one. But we have 1 minute left to play with score is still 3-0 MMG. Ray going for the shot and saved by Barry. Beautiful save there. Trying to get getting something out of that monotony back and forth. But here's the cross once again and knocked deep back into MM territory. And Ray's going for the cross once again up the wall. Barry trying to do something with it, and he is able to make the aerial juggle. Here's a shot off the post, but Billy the Serpent gets control of the ball, knocking it into MMG territory, going for the shot, and here's the cross once again. Not fooled is Barry, popping it into the corner, going for a nice little wall shot, doing something with it, bouncing it off the back wall, going for the double tap, and scores! Beautiful, beautiful play there by Barry Beanboy, taking it the entire length of the court, off the wall, aerial juggle, getting it past one defender, and then he double taps it off the wall and punches it in before anyone knows what the hell happened.
MMG coming out really strong here in this first game. It's going to be very interesting to see how Dynamic bounces back in these last few moments. I mean, obviously not much you can do here, but for game 2, they're going to have a lot of work ahead of them. I mean, just taking a look at the stat sheet, it's all in MMG's favor.
It really is. Barry with 3 goals. We got Lil with 3 assists, and RX8. I think he was the one who broke open the scoring for this match.
Yeah, this was just a dominating victory for game 1 here. And as a reminder to everyone, it is best of 5. We're playing best of 5 in these series here, so they got to win 2 more. So we'll see if Dynamic can bounce back. Maybe they look to utilize some of the substitutes here, but MMG coming out really strong. I think what you need to focus on if you're Dynamic, if you want to bounce back in here, there was a lot of mistakes being made, caught out of position, double committing. Dynamics got to clean it up here. They got to find themselves. They weren't able to create opportunities because of those mistakes. So really, just got to clean it up. We'll see if they can do that. MMG, you're going strong right now. You're more than tripling, the performance and the shots there. So, the save department. So it's just looking real good for you if you're on MMG right now.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, you mentioned the shots. Look at the shot breakdown. MMG took 8 shots and scored half of them, while Dynamic took 7 shots and was unable to bring home any of them. That's unusual for Dynamic, but it just shows how strong MMG Esports is.
So far, my prediction not coming true here.
Well, I did say I'm playing the hot hand, so Dynamic's got an uphill battle ahead of them if they're gonna have any chance of winning this one. But it looks like everyone has filed in for game 2. 5 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And we have ourselves a tip-off, knocking it into the corner. Lil Tiny Chan knocking it farther into Dynamic territory, but there is Dynamic making the clear, but RX8 coming on hot, pushing it into the corner himself, staying with the ball, but there's Billy the Serpent stopping that one, and it looks like Lil Tiny Chan misread that one because it ended up getting a soft clear midfield, which could have been a shot, but nothing happened on that one. But the ball's still in Dynamic territory. Barry Beanboy trying to do something with it, but ends up just crossing it to the opposing team. RX8 Knight Rider making a very nice play, stopping the ball from going in, knocking it into the corner in their own territory, and Billy the Serpent flying out of nowhere, trying to do something with it, but is unable to square it up as the ball gets bounced harmlessly into the wall. And there we have Lil Tiny Chan knocking it into the corner on Dynamic territory, trying to do something with the play. Here's the cross, and that was actually at the goal. That ended up being saved by Moglin. Nice heads-up play there. They end up just going right for the ball instead of trying to read the shot. And honestly, that was the better choice in the matter. But the ball gets cleared by Moglin, knocking it into MMG territory. But Barry Beanboy is there to make the stop midfield, knocking it up the wall. But here goes Moglin trying to square it up, but is unable to do so as the ball just lazily bounces into MMG territory. Nice little play there by Ray, trying to do something with it, and he stays with it. And Dynamic is finally on the board as they take a 1-0 lead.
I think MMG finally has a mistake that goes against them in terms of a goal here. MMG kind of caught with 3 people going off to the side there. Dynamic takes advantage. Very well done to get them their first lead of the series.
Indeed, indeed. That was a beautiful heads-up play there by Dynamic, staying with the ball and then just essentially reverse bicycle kicking it right on home before any of the MMG players could get back in position. But here we go. Ball's going into MMG territory once again. Lil Tiny Chan trying to clear it, ends up shooting it at their own goal, but thankfully their teammates were there to make the stop. Here's the cross and the save by Billy the Serpent. Nice heads-up play there, staying with the ball, but Barry Beanboy coming in hot in the air. Ball gets shot into the ceiling, but Lil Tiny Chan knocking it into the corner once again, pushing it forward and spiking it into the ground. Here's the cross, little too much mustard on that one, pushing it into the corner once again. But here comes RX8, the only one going after the ball, staying with it. Go over the double tap, is unable to do so as he mistimes it. Missed opportunity there by MMG as the ball bounces off the wall, going for the double tap, unable to do so as Dynamic is able to clear it into the corner. Moglin trying to do something with it. A weak pass there. Ends up intercepted by RX8. And Barry's knocking it forward once again, but Moglin staying with the ball, stopping that one from going in because all their crosses seem to be at the goal instead of across the goal. I don't know what the heck's going on. Like, all those precision passes just seem to be shots at goal and end up just getting easily saved. But here comes Barry knocking it out of his own territory, but ends up getting intercepted by Moglin. Moglin blowing up Barry Beanboy, knocking it into the corner once again. Here comes Lil Tiny Chan, ends up blowing up Ray Geneasy as shooting it into the corner and gets intercepted, knocking it back midfield. And Moglin is there, pushing it into the ceiling. Little too much on that one as no one was able to make anything out of that. But Ray is staying with the ball, trying to make a shot, mistimes it, ends up getting intercepted by RX8. RX8 trying to push it forward, unable to do so as Moglin staying midfield. Here comes Billy the Serpent, gets blocked by Lil Tiny Chan. And the ball's floating again midfield. Barry's trying to do something with it. Here's the shot and another save by Billy. But RX8 staying with the ball, trying to do something off the wall. It is just floating at midfield, but Ray is the one who gets a handle on it. Lil trying to do something, is able to get past one defender, but Moglin is there backing up his teammate. I gotta say, the follow-ups have been a lot better for Dynamic this game, as they are just backing each other up in every step of the way. But as we continue on, RX8 tries to clear it into Dynamic territory as the ball just sits in midfield again. All right, but Barry comes in forward. Here comes the double tap. 1 minute left to play. MMG's got to pull something out of their hat to stop this one, because right now it looks like Dynamic is going with the shutout. All right, Lil Tiny Chan trying to do something. Ball gets shot into the wall. Here comes Barry B-Boy with a miss. RX8, though, coming in hot, is able to shoot the ball in the air, but ends up getting stopped by Dynamic as Dynamic regains control of the ball, knocking it into MMG territory, trying to get the clear, unable to do so. Moglin with the cross, a little too much on that as Barry intercepts it. Lil unfortunately mistimes that one once again for this match, and it pushes it into the wall. But here comes Ray, taking control of the ball once again, knocking it into the corner of MMG, but gets intercepted by RX8, who makes the clear themselves. Lil pushing it into the corner. Here's the cross. It is floating. Billy trying to do something with the ball, is able to block it, disrupting the shot. 5 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and Game 2 goes to Dynamic with a 1-0 shutout.
Now, this game is a whole different one than the one we saw beforehand. All of a sudden, Dynamic gets 1 goal off of 2 shots. Just 2 shots, and they get 1 goal. That's all they needed. Apparently, MMG has their offense basically cut in half to 4 shots, and they don't land 1. In their defensive effort, they needed to make 2 stops, and they only made 1. I mean, what a tale that just gets twisted here in game 2.
That was a fantastic defensive effort by Dynamic, basically disrupting every play that MMG was trying to make. But then again, MMG did miss a lot of passes on that. Like, a lot of the crosses that would have been set up for perfect shots ended up being at the goal instead. And while, yeah, it is good to keep your shots at the goal, it's not necessarily very good when there are 3 defenders there waiting for it, watching it. You need to make those cross passes.
Yeah, and like you said, Dynamic were much better positioned and much more prepared to face the attack here of MMG. So they got to do some more to try and break it up. I mean, they were utilizing demos a lot in game 1, and there was barely any here in game 2. So we'll see if they bring it back in game number 3 as the series is all tied up now.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So yeah, now let's see who is going to win game 3. That's the real question. And let me just jump into spectator mode. It looks like everyone is in for the game. We have 5 minutes on the clock. Game 3, series tied 1-1. Here we go. And this time RX8 wins the opening tip-off, knocking it into the wall. Barry Beamoy trying to do something of it, ends up getting blocked himself. Moglin with a long pass into MMG territory, ends up getting himself blown up for his troubles. Barry is unable to do so, ends up ramming himself into Billy, but Billy keeping his bearings and is able to make the stop. And then Ray just makes the save on a nice shot by RX8. Staying with the ball, trying to do something with this time in that one once again. All those perfect timed shots aren't coming true this game again. Not good for MMG as Moglin goes for the cross, ends up getting stopped. RX8 trying to do something with it. Ball gets bounced into Dynamic territory, but then Billy ends up punching it forward himself. And, ball's floating in front of the goal. Lil is trying to do everything in their power to do something with it, but is unable to do so as she was alone there. Unfortunate break there for MMG. But there's Lil once again pushing it midfield, but Ray is waiting, knocking the ball into MMG territory once again. Ball gets chipped off the wall. Billy mistimes it, and Barry makes the clear. Moglin, though, making the read, making the stop, keeping the ball into MMG territory. Ball gets shot into the ceiling, doing something with it. Barry dancing, I guess, and Ray making the shot. It is off target, but on the rebound, Billy the Serpent with a beautiful shot, but Barry was in position this time, making a fantastic save. And Lil ends up getting bumped by their own teammate as the ball gets bounced into Dynamic territory. Moglin regained control of the ball, trying for a cross, and Ray gets the ball, bouncing it off the wall, doing a double tap in the air, juggling it, doing something with it. Here's a beautiful cross, and Barry is there, making a perfect read and making the save. All right, here we go. Billy gaining control of the ball once again, knocking it into the wall. Barry trying to get control, pushing it into the air. Here's a nice little juggle, but Moglin is not fooled. But Barry stays with it, keeping the ball in front of their goal. And, beautiful, beautiful stop there by Dynamic with a last-second save. Open goal. Can they get back in time? They do! Barry Beanboy putting on the thrusters and making essentially a game-saving save. But Lil Tiny Chen making another save right there. Luna putting in all the effort they can as the ball gets bounced back and forth, up off the crossbar. No one is there. Unfortunate break there for MMG. That was their opportunity. Ray going for the shot and saved by RX8, putting his body on the line. And Moglin going for the cross shot. Nothing coming of that one as Luna pushes it up the wall once again. And staying with it, knocking it into midfield. Ray getting control of the ball. Ends up getting blown up for his effort. Barry getting control of it. Here's the chip and the shot off the crossbar. And oh no, that one hurts. That was a shot that just went slightly off target, and another missed opportunity for MMG. But Barry is able to get back on defense in time, making the clear, trying to do something with it, going for the shot, misses it because Dynamic is staying with it, getting on the ball on time. Great play there. But Billy gained control once more and ends up handing it over with a nice little pinch up the wall. Here it is, and the cross gets controlled by Ray. Nice heads-up play there. And here comes Lil trying to do something with it, unable to do so as the ball gets cleared midfield once again. But there's Barry, go for the cross themselves. Here's the cross, here's the shot off the bar, and the cross by Lil. Nothing happening once again. Yet another missed opportunity for MMG. Oh, I don't know what the hell's going on here, because this is... It seems like they used all their perfect shots in game one. But Ray's coming through with the ball once again. We are at 0-0 still with 1 minute left to play. Moglin coming in midfield, going for the double tap off the wall, trying to do something with it, and Billy gets the cross, and Barry is there with the stop. Ball's floating into MMG territory in the corner. Ray staying with it, keeping it into MMG territory. Barry's a little far ahead, ends up blowing up Moglin in frustration. As Lil pushes it forward, here's the cross, double tap. Can they do something with it? No! Once again, the cross falls dead. All right, and Dynamic regain control of the ball, taking it slow, going for a changeup, but RX8 is not fooled as he smacks that one into the wall. And here's the shot, and saved by RX8. That was a beautiful, close play, but Dynamic comes in hot and makes the goal with 12 seconds left to go.
This is going to be the hero moment. This is the hero moment right there for Billy the Serpent to come in clutch with 12 seconds left. They're going to need to pull something out, and they're going to need to do it fast if you're MMG.
They needed to pull all the rabbits out of their ass for this one. Here's the double tap, and mistimed! Unlucky! Oh no! 3, 2, 1! Ball staying alive! Here's the shot! That would have been a goal. But either way, Dynamic takes game 3 with a score again of 1-0.
Another 1-0 victory here for Dynamic. That one has to sting if you're MMG. You know, the shots, they only have 3 shots on the stat sheet there, but
someone
MMG had...
That is best of 5. Sorry,
yeah, we'll get her back. We'll get her back. But that is something interesting for MMG. I want you to ignore the shots there because they had plenty of opportunities that they were able to create. The ball, I lost count of how many times the ball just ended up floating in front of the Dynamic goal, and they just could not capitalize. And there was even just some missed opportunities on the shots that they did have where it just went awry. They shot wide or they shot too high. They had obviously they had some close ones that just bounced off the crossbar, and those are the most heartbreaking ones. This one was just not on the side of MMG, and to me there's very little that they could have done extra to have made those plays. Dynamic holding on strong, and their offense, I want to point out that their offense has totally turned around now as they produced just a little under 10 shots that game.
Yep. It's like, yeah, we shouldn't really look at the few shots that MMG had because a lot of them were just crosses that ended up just parking itself in front of the goal with no one coming after that one. But either way, Dynamic up 2-1, 5 minutes on the clock. Game 4, here we go. Barry knocking the tip off into the corner. Here's the cross and the shot and another spike into the dirt. Unfortunate break there once again for MMG. I feel like a broken record has as MMG is just missing opportunity after opportunity. Moglin with a misread right there. RXA trying to do something with it, but Billy stays with it, pushing it into the corner, disrupting that play. Now, you see, that is, I think, the difference of these past two games. Dynamic has just been disrupting everything early. As you see right there, once again, essentially forcing them to take an awkward shot. But here we go, RX8, open goal, can he do something with it? No, he mistimes it! That is bronze level right there. Unfortunate break there for MMG.
If this comes down to one goal, you're going to remember that one.
Into the wall, that should have been a goal. At this level, that should have been a goal. But oh man, Barry taking out his frustration on Billy as Luna punches it against the wall with some gusto, knocking it for the midfield clear. That was a ricochet midfield clear. But there's Barry midfield taking the control of the ball, knocking it into the corner, and it floats there into Dynamic territory. Dynamic is trying to regain control, and they do. Ray knocking it into the corner, trying to go for the cross. Nice little floater right there. Can they tie it? No. Luna just coming in hot, and unfortunately she misses it. Oof. And Moglin ends up bumping Barry out of the way as MMG tries to make the clear, but is unable to do so as Ray is floating himself midfield. But there's Luna once again doing a card change, trying to do something with this, doing something, anything, putting in all the effort they can. And once again, it is all for naught. No one was there for the follow-up this time. But here comes Ray clearing it himself. But Barry is there midfield with the interception. And Luna going for the cross. A little slow cross there, but that gives them enough time to stop that play from happening. And here comes Moglin going for the clear, but Barry with the read. Nice little chip. Here's the shot and deflected. But there's Luna with the stop, but right into the waiting arms of Ray. As Ray pushes it into the corner once again. Going for the shot and cross goal! Beautiful cross pass by Ray as Billy then brings it home. And Dynamic take a 1-0 lead with 2:35 left to play.
You can't ask for much more than that. A beautiful setup on the cross there, and MMG caught on the cross, not prepared for it, and Dynamic taking a 1-0 lead, this time a little bit earlier on the score, or at least in terms of the clock.
Indeed. It's like they are now they are in crunch time right now. Their league, their match lives are on the line. And while, yes, this is a league, they will still be playing next week. They will still keep going forward. But this is a key matchup for MMG if they want to have a chance at making a top spot in the league. But as we see, if you can't make the goals, you can't win the game. That is all there is to it. And Luna going for a beautiful cross and stopped by Ray. That cross was beautifully on target, but that next shot by RX8 was not, as the ball crosses off the crossbar once again. I don't know. I think after this match, if MMG does not win this match, they need to go back to training and get some practice in for those cross shots, because they've just been burying them. I think the crossbar's dented after this point. But here we go. Once again, ball is still midfield. Luna getting control of the ball, going for the shot. Here's the chip, and Billy gets himself blown up after making a beautiful save. And Luna is a presence on offense, even though nothing else is happening. And the little coming in out of nowhere, going for the double tap. Here's the cross. Moglin stays with it, makes the stop. Nice play there. And Barry caught on the back foot once again as Moglin just keeps pushing it forward. And a little too much on that one as the ball gets plastered into the post. Luna going for the juggle, staying with it. Nice shot, and Moglin with yet another save. They have their third save of the game. As Ray pushes the midfield, ends up getting intercepted by Barry once again. Barry with the shot and scores! The drought has ended as we are now tied 1-1 with 44 seconds left to go.
This is a beautiful solo effort from Barry here, kind of just able to read the play as the ball's coming up the side and take it down for a nice slam dunk under the crossbar. Definitely need that right now. Less than a minute to go.
Indeed, indeed. And our next tip-off, we have Moglin taking it off the wall, going for the shot, but there's Barry coming in there like a force of nature as he's pushing it into dynamic territory. They need to make something out of this one because right now they need to win this match. Otherwise, that series is a loss. But the ball is now getting punched into the corner in MMG territory. Barry trying to do something with it, is able to do so, getting it past Moglin. Barry staying with it, nice little misdirect. Here comes RX8 pushing off the wall. Lil coming in from behind. I think bumping her teammate out of the way. As the ball gets bounced midfield, we may be going into overtime. And Toast, you are now the leader of the party. Congratulations. And here we go, bouncing it into dynamic territory. Moglin staying with it. Ball is floating. We are now 1 second left, and overtime we go. Here we go into overtime, and our next tip-off, we have Barry taking the tip-off win, but right into the waiting arms of Ray. Ray reading that one really well. Yeah, that's a tongue twister with all the R's. But here comes Lil going for the misdirect, is able to do so, but Moglin is there, making the stop midfield, smartly staying back. But Barry makes the stop, pushing it into their own corner. Barry with a little misdirect there, but Billy was not fooled, able to make the play, just stopping them from happening. Ball is just bouncing back and forth. Here's the shot, and off target. Moglin was not able to center that one up, but Billy trying to do something off the wall is able to do something as he chips it midfield right to the waiting arms of Ray, but Ray ends up putting a rocket under that one and crosses it a little too fast for Billy. And Moglin, though, coming in hot. Here's a beautiful cross and stopped. Cross again. Lil coming out of the goal, making the clear. Misreads it. Here goes Billy. Here's the shot and stopped by RX8. That was a double commit, but RX8 is able to make the save. Staying with the ball, knocking it midfield.
No.
Here's Barry coming in from behind, but Billy is not fooled, able to make the read as Dynamic keeps chipping it up in front of the goal, making it clear themselves. Here's into MMG territory, and nothing's coming of that one. Here comes Lil, knocking it into the wall once again, pushing it up the field. Here's the cross, and missing. Oh no! Unlucky break there for Barry as Dynamic made a fantastic clear. Just in the nick of time. Billy, you beautiful bastard indeed. So here we go. Barry knocking it forward, trying to do something with it. Ball's just sitting there. Here's the shot and saved by RX8 as the ball gets punched into the corner, so there is no rebound. And here's the cross, mistimed by RX8, and oh, thank God. Thank God for Barry and Luna staying with that ball. Here's the cross and the shot off target by Luna. Barry bounces over the head of Barry. Ray getting control of the ball once again, knocking it into the wall. It is up the wall, and Billy with the play, but ends up getting stopped, and the ball gets knocked into the corner in MMG territory. I was about to say MMR territory, but Lil coming in out of nowhere, saving it before her teammate can, as the ball goes into dynamic territory. Here's the cross, here's the shot, it is floating and off target. And here we go, Barry trying for the follow-up, unable to do so as Ray gains control of the ball, knocking it forward, and Lil's getting control. We have a double commit. RX8 and Luna, who's going to get it? Luna with the shot, and goal! We are tied and going to Game 5.
It finally happened. It took a little bit. It took about a game and a half to get Game 4 figured out, but we got a result. And MMG coming through to tie it up. We got our Game 5 of the series coming up, and this is what we always love to see here at Slips. Wow, what a battle from both teams there. They both played really well in that last one. However, they also both made a lot of mistakes, had a lot of opportunities on both ends that just went back and forth. And both of us are sitting here in the booth, just what is going on? What are we watching? All these opportunities just going awry. Oh my goodness. But it finally happens. It took 6 shots, but little Tiny Chan gets one in. And then Barry Bean with that tying goal. Very well done from MMG to bounce back there.
Indeed. With a emphasis on that final goal, MMG is able to even up the series, avoiding elimination, coming back to win this one. MVP for this match definitely goes to Little Tiny Chan with that crazy play. 6 shots on the match for this one. and finally knocking one in. Barry Beanboy coming in hot on some defensive interceptions, but RX8 making some key saves there himself. So that was an all-around team effort for MMG, coming back after a I don't even know how to describe it. After an insane start by Dynamic, just putting on the pressure, never letting go of the gas. MMG finally able to break through. And looking at the screen, we have a little lag there by RX8 for a moment. But either way, we continue our streak with Game 5s into League play on stream as MMG wins the first tip-off. And here's the first shot off the crossbar once again. I don't know about you, but I think MMG has just laid claim to that crossbar. As I think that's like, what, 7 shots that have hit it now? I don't know. I've lost count after like the first 5.
Too many if you're MMG.
Exactly. This one could have been a 3-0 MMG win, but that crossbar said otherwise. It is about a mile tall at this point. But here we go once again. Dynamic with a shot off the post. Here's the follow-up, unable to do so as Lil was able to block that one from happening. Open goal. Can they do something with it? No. Oh, but here's the cross and no one's there. Unfortunate break there for MMG as RX8 was unable to time it properly and not able to receive the beautiful cross by Luna. All right, and Moglin gets control of the ball, but ends up getting himself intercepted. Ball's bouncing midfield. Barry with the control once again. Here's the little chip. Open goal! Not able to do anything out of it as he mistimes it, or just wasn't able to get up fast enough. Get that guy some enhancement because he was not able to get up fast enough. So here we go, continuing on. Knocking the ball into midfield is MMG. Luna pushing it forward. Ball's getting chipped up in the air. Ray is mistimes it as the ball's just kind of floating there, but Billy coming in hot, able to get control. Ray misdirecting it. Is someone able to get the ball? RX8 does a side jump instead of a forward jump. That's unfortunate. But here we go once again as RX8 trying to get the clear, pushing it forward. Might have pushed it a little too high up as unable to make the... That's like the 3rd or 4th time he did a side jump instead of a forward jump. But all right, ball staying in MMG territory as Moglin makes the play, pushing it into the corner, trying to stay with it, ends up blocking RX8 from making the play so Billy can get the ball as the ball gets pushed into the ceiling. But there's Barry making a nice gentle tap for Luna, but Luna mistimes it! Ball's bouncing in front of their goal. Nothing happening though as Barry ends up taking control of the ball, pushing it forward. Here's the cross, ends up getting bumped out of the way as Billy makes the save and the clear. RX8, though, making the read, going forward. Here's the cross, but Barry's back once again. I don't know what RX8 is doing, but he is he's kind of in park right now. He needs to set it into high gear and fast as Dynamic taking 2 shots, both crashing on the right side post.
That one's got to sting a little bit. If you're Dynamic.
That one really, really does. Sorry, I was just looking at the chat at some of the comments. All right,
no!
As I'm looking at the chat, Moglin gets control of the ball. Let's see what happened there as the ball just lazily floats midfield. Moglin coming in hot, makes a beautiful misdirect pass, and brings it home, taking a 1-0 lead with 2:16 left to play.
That's a strong start for Dynamic.
So far.
Dynamic really needs that. Now they just got to hold on. They don't want to give this lead back up to last game. However, MMG, we've seen it. They're not going to give up so easily.
Indeed, indeed. MMG is going to make them fight for every inch. RX8 trying to do something with it, but ends up Barry making the save. Luna making the misdirect and the cross in midfield. Ball's floating midfield. Can they do something with it? RX8 not able to center it properly as the ball gets blasted into the corner. And there's no one from MMG. Their follow-ups are non-existent right now. That's not good. But here we go. Once again, Lil getting control of the ball, pushing it forward. Ray getting the intercept. Here's the cross, and stopped by RX8. RX8 with the clear, knocking it forward, but Billy is there. Ball's floating in front of the ball is floating in front of the Dynamic goal, but nothing comes of it once again. But the ball is going midfield. Nice little battle in the air. Floating. Here comes Moglin. Mistimes it. But RX8 is coming in hot. Pushing it forward. Knocking it in front of the goal. But Ray keeps his bearings on and makes the save. And as he pushes it forward, Ray getting control of the ball. Knocking it back and forth. Just delaying as much time as possible. We are about a minute left. Here's the cross. And there's no one there once again. I don't know what is going on, but the communication is is just not working right now, because it's like they're making some great passes, but no one is there to receive them. So it's just an easy interception for Dynamic. This is insane. This is not good. But Moglin getting control of the ball. Here's the long shot off the back wall, but staying with it. Nice little chip forward. Just slowly bouncing it back and forth. Dynamic, 30 seconds left to go with a 1-0 lead. Ball's bouncing off the wall. Can they do something with it? No, MMG is unable to do something. As an open goal for Moglin. Moglin with the midfield open goal, putting up an almost insurmountable 2-0 lead.
That might be the series-winning goal right there, but that play, I want to point out, does not happen without Ray tipping that ball off their own back wall, setting up the redirect on the other end. Very well done from Dynamic to adapt on a full team play right there.
And it looks like Dynamic has a bit of je ne sais quoi going right now, because they are on fire and they bring up their third goal.
I think Dynamic has just about wrapped this one up. MMG is going to be saying goodbye without a win today. Dynamic coming away. Moglin with 3 goals. Give him the hat trick for the day. You've earned it.
Indeed. 10 seconds left to go. 3-0 lead for Dynamic. All that trash talk from Luna is going by the wayside on this one. Moglin putting in a game of the series, and Dynamic take it 3-2.
What a series to start us off for today's stream. It doesn't get any better than that, but Dynamic in the... we just got some news, and we'll get to that in a second. We'll finish up the analysis for this match. But goodness gracious, great balls of fire. There are a few words you can use to describe the fun that we just got to witness today. That was an amazing series, but Dynamic coming out strong after starting off with a huge defeat in game 1, and to bounce back like this. To have two wins in a row, and then they fall back, and it's a tied series, and then they come away with a 3-0 win in the final game 5. I mean, what a win for them! What a win for them!
That was absolutely incredible. Dynamic played to their name. They absolutely were dynamic today. They were making the stops, making the plays, making the interceptions, and unfortunately for them, the crossbar saved a lot of their game, no doubt. But their play was absolutely top notch. Moglin played out of his mind in pretty much all the games except game 1, and I give him my MVP for the match.
Yeah, I think
without question.
I think that's a fair one. And even if you're trying to, if you're on the Dynamic roster, don't be offended by that, because this is definitely a team effort. There's no way those wins happen without all of you playing together as a team, and that's what I really loved to see watching those games. That was just beautiful watching them, especially that second goal there in that last game that we just saw, because Ray knocking it off the backboard. That ball goes in if Ray doesn't make that touch, and then it's a tie game and you have a whole different setup.
No doubt.
To make that touch, and then for your 2 teammates to be able to turn it around into a goal, that's something you put on a highlight reel right there. And
Easily.
You gotta give it to oh my gosh, excuse me, I'm getting tongue twisted to Dynamic for being able to twist it around there. So gotta give them a round of applause. But we do have some unfortunate news regarding the stream today.
Yep. Unfortunately, it looks like Mastery is unable to make it for the next game, and thus will end up forfeiting the next match. So it looks like Full Eclipse versus Mastery will not be happening, with Full Eclipse getting a forfeit win. That is an unfortunate break for everyone here, because after that MMG Dynamic match, that hype is riding high. I was looking forward to keeping the hype train rolling, but unfortunately, this will be the only match that we showcase today for the Slips League. So, as you said, Dynamic played absolutely out of their mind. That was It's like, yeah, it's the match of the night anyway, but it is a well-deserved match of the night. It is not. That game 3, or correction, that game 4 specifically was insane, down into deep overtime, and game 5 was neck and neck the entire way until like the last 30 seconds. It was insane. But for me, it's MMG had the crossbar curse for today, but not only that, there was a lot of plays that they should have made at the level that they are that I know that they play at. Like, there was just so many plays where the ball was just bouncing in front of their goal and no one was there, or someone or Luna or someone makes a cross and no one is there, and it's just the amount of like RX8 may have to remap his controls, because half the time where he wanted to jump forward, he ended up jumping over to the side. And as a master of the side jump, as a master of the unintended side jump, I know how that feels. It sucks. But it's definitely something that needs to be fixed for MMG if they want to make it, if they want to end up with a top spot in the league.
Yeah, and you start to wonder, was it something that they were getting in their heads with, because that gets frustrating from a mental perspective. You're crossbar, post, missed shot. You start to get frustrated. You got to make sure you stay cool. So you wonder if that's what maybe started to happen, is maybe it just started to get to them a little bit. As far as, I'll touch on the crossbar part first. I mean,
they are going to be hearing the clang in their nightmares.
Yeah, that one's tough. And as someone who's played soccer in my life, I know a goalpost is or a crossbar is sometimes my best friend, and you got to respect it. But in regards to missed opportunities, yeah, MMG definitely had some missed opportunities. And to speak, and not to bash on you, RX8, but definitely saw some moments with you there. But at the same time, as a team, there was you said a little bit about it in Game 5 as far as communication goes. I think there was a moment I saw 2 members of MMG go for the demo on the goalie, while there was one person who was setting up the play, but then you got no one to take the shot. And see, exactly. So that's just a missed setup opportunity there. And they hit the demo, but you got no one on the finishing end, and now you're out of position.
And you bring up a good point. There was that was something that I noticed as well. There was a lot of double commits, a whole lot of double commits. That it's like, as someone who tries to get the rotation down, just double commit after double commit after double commit, it's rough. Yeah.
And one thing I will say though, Dynamic, a strong win for you, and you made my prediction correct today. Just want to put that out there.
Indeed.
But if you're Dynamic, you can't walk away from this too cocky, because they were very vulnerable this game. This could have easily gone against them. And so they will also need to, I think, potentially head into the training room, get some extra practice in themselves, because there were some weak spots, and they also, like you said, had some double commits as well. And quite frankly, they weren't generating as many opportunities as MMG was. Say MMG isn't hitting crossbar all those times and they're putting goals in. Again, it's a whole different story. So Dynamic able to come away. They did. That's not to negate all the strong defensive stances that they did have. Mm-hmm. We'll give them credit there. But,
the MMG had some insane plays too. Game 1 in particular was fantastic. Yeah. Like, they were dominant in Game 1. But momentum is a fickle mistress. It can change on a dime. And as we saw MMG took Game 1 handily. But Game 2 and Game 3, 2 1-0 wins for Dynamic. They proved to be clutch. Both teams had some fantastic defense, because it was a lot of low scoring games. Aside from Game 1, it was a lot of low scoring games. And you know what? Dynamic made that little extra effort, and you know what? They won. They earned this win. They earned it. It was well deserved. A little bit of an upset for sure, but you know what? They deserved it. They earned it. They played for it. They wanted it more. They won.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got Hussein in the chat here saying Milk Gang versus Rapid Fire, trying to see if they can play, and we'll so if we get an update on that, if they'll be jumping on the stream match, we'll see if we can make that happen. So we'll keep you posted on that one. I think if we want to simplify the series that we just watched, again, strong performances I think from both teams here. Dynamic comes out on top. Still room for improvement again for both teams, though. I mean, it is even though it's our D1 match there. I think we can still. I think we still have a lot to see from both teams, regardless of the outcome.
Indeed. This is definitely a marquee. This is a banner win for Dynamic. But I can't really talk right now. But in terms of MMG, if a team gets a marquee win against you, then that means that you are a top team. So it's like you are that high target that people aim for. And if you lose, that ends up being a marquee win for the other team. So you know what? Kudos to both teams. They both played their hearts out. Unfortunately for MMG, a lot of misplays, a lot of clang from the crossbar, and boom from the ball.
Yeah. As far as I'll bring up this. Those of y'all in the chat. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you spending some time with us on your Saturday and enjoying the matches with us. But if we can make that crossbar compilation, I know that some people in the chat were talking about that during the game. Not to, just if we want to add a little more salt on the wound to it, just to see how many times they hit the crossbar in that match.
Ding, ding, ding for the crossbar. Boom, boom, boom goes the ball. But yeah, so it was a fantastic match all around. So right now we are waiting to see if perhaps Milk Gang and Rapid Fire can get a match going. So we are waiting to hear back from Hussein. So we may end up going to a splash page in the meantime, because not sure if there's anything else that we can say about Dynamic and MMG. Because I don't know. I think we analyzed this one more than most research papers. So so yeah. So GJ, who do you feel was the MVP for that last match?
Honestly. Oh man, honestly, what was that guy's name? I'm trying to pronounce that guy's name. It started with an M and Mars something.
Magwin.
Thank you.
Magwin, yeah.
He became the MVP.
It sounds very Irish.
At the end, especially at the end, that hat trick was basically sealing the deal, saying, "Yep, this guy's MVP of the series, right there. That guy, that's the one. Place the crown upon his head and crown him MVP." We don't have
he definitely got MVP for this entire series for me. So yeah.
I imagine that poor Luna.
I feel bad for Luna, but then again, when you talk trash, and you're not able to back it up, though I will give this out of MMG, Luna was definitely their MVP.
Especially in that last game, really generating the opportunities.
It's like as someone who tries to be a playmaker themselves, it's heartbreaking to watch just good cross after good cross hitting nothing.
Yeah, I will give it up to Billy Bean for that, especially a couple of solo plays I think we got to see from Billy Bean there. Yes. However, obviously those opportunities are only going to come so often. So seeing how you might be able to translate some of specifically the aerial, coming up from mid up the wall, and you're going in, for a slam dunk opportunity. Seeing if you can potentially, because teams are going to start to catch on to that, especially if they've done their homework on you. They're going to start to anticipate that. So, we'll see how that works for MMG down in the future. But it seems like we're going to have a guest joining us here.
Coming back from a tough loss. Looks like, Luna will be joining us today in regards to getting their thoughts as to what just happened.
I believe we just had Luna join the call.
So we are just waiting to hear about it, and waiting to hear from the Luna themselves.
Well, hello there.
Hello. So, what just happened?
Let me explain something, right? There are days that you have trash players or trash teammates and trash things. That is completely fine. Dynamic played completely out of the way that we did. We didn't train for. Our newer player just wasn't up to like keeping up with us, and just crossbar after crossbar after crossbar. That's what you get for practicing fucking crossbar shots, Barry.
Well, the only way you could get better at them is if you do practice them. So it unfortunately it fell the wrong way this time, it seems.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a fun game overall. You know, it had some key moments that definitely need to take. Just not even just like me, just like take the whole team, even the subs, and just get them in like a scrim or because he wasn't up for like this competitive thing. He already said like halfway through the game, he was like, I wasn't made for this. I wasn't, I don't know rotations and stuff. But we brought him in anyway just to see how he would do, and he showed up well. We're gonna bring our full team next time.
Okay. Well, you got them. You gave them some needed league play. So
I did.
And thank you very much, Team Monkey. I appreciate it. But yeah, so what can you work on for the next match to perhaps have a better result?
Honestly, I think just being completely honest with you, we need to work more on that crossbar. That crossbar has screwed us over the most times. And if it wasn't for the crossbar, it literally wouldn't have ended that way. It probably would have ended 3 games, and I'm not even going to lie to you. It's just crossbar. So try to figure out where your ball goes. Just focus on your angles, because we had a lot of good shots and, a lot of really good moments. But with Dynamic playing so defensively, we had to change our style up, and just doing that, it kind of screwed us over.
Oh, well. But yeah, so as we just got word, unfortunately, Milk Gang will not be able to be joining us for later, so we will be ending it after we are done with the interview right now. So as we continue on, is there anything that I can't really talk. Is there anything that you would want to work on for yourself for next match?
Me specifically, I need to work on a lot of things. There's still I really jumped on 30 minutes before I got in game, so I mean, I wasn't ready, but we jumped in anyway because knowing I wasn't ready. Regardless, there's still a lot to work on. Kickoffs, figuring out boost management. We're going to take the replays and go see them and just bounce back. But hey, Dynamic, don't get too comfy. You got lucky this time.
They did get two very close 1-0 wins. So they definitely pulled stuff out, but would you say that it would be Dynamic's play or your missed opportunities that was the difference maker?
Look, right? Dynamic played so well, but it was one person that played well the entire time. And we just had to counter that one person. And with the newer player coming in, not having any experience in like competitive play, it was harder for us to, counter it. However, Dynamic's a good team. I respect them. I respect this loss. But don't get cocky.
Mm-hmm. Toast, is there anything that you would like to add?
I can respect that. I can respect that energy. And so.
Well, because here's the deal, right? Streamed or not streamed, Dynamic, we're gonna have another match of this, and we're gonna do this again. And I'm bringing my full team, and you'll see exactly what it means to lose.
All right. I'm feeling it's feeling spicy all of a sudden here. Or is that just me?
Oh! One more thing before I go. Who's the next match?
It doesn't look like we are going to be having another match because unfortunately, Milk Gang was not able to get their team together in time for this match, and the match that we were supposed to be having. Unfortunately, Mastery gave a forfeit win, so that's unfortunate. So
I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I hope you guys enjoyed the match. We definitely tried to play, even with the struggles, but it was fun regardless. And
It was
I'm
a
looking
very
forward to
good
it
match.
again.
No matter regardless of the outcome, it was a fantastic match from everyone involved. And as we said, Dynamic played their hearts out. They got 2 very close 1-0 shutout wins. You guys came back strong in Game 4, and Game 5 it was neck and neck until like the last 30 seconds.
So T just said I sound tired. I am completely tired. I literally got off of working a 17-hour shift and then just came home, crashed, and barely made it to the game.
Ooh.
That'll do it. So, and do you think that came into play in terms of your play today?
Well, I woke up late, so I wasn't able to rush to the store and get my energy drink, so I was already screwed over.
Well, that is an unlucky break for you there. So, yep.
It is
that is all the questions that I had. Are there anything that you wanna point out or talk about?
Toast, you're my favorite caster. Bye.
I appreciate that. No, that's it. And thank you for your time. Appreciate you being here. And thanks for a good match. I'm looking forward to seeing your games in the future.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm going to go back to bed now because we had 2 hours of sleep.
Alrighty. So in that case, I guess we better wrap it up here. So as you saw, we are only doing 1 match today. We had Dynamic versus MMG Esports, where Dynamic taken a 3-2 upset series win against a very strong but rather unlucky MMG Esports today. So yeah, I am K7. With me is Toast Tactics.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add on to it?
Yeah, real quick before we go, be sure to tune in tomorrow. And the first game you're going to be having tomorrow on the Slipstream is Shreks versus Power Gaming. As the tournament kicks off tomorrow for the weekly tournament that Slips has, it happens every Sunday, so feel free to tune into it. It's pretty fun. I've been there. I mean, maybe you can trust me, maybe you can't. I don't know. But thank you all for being here. Thanks for spending some of your Saturday with us. We hope you had fun. I know we did on our end. That was certainly a fun match to watch. And it's a good league, and we hope you stay tuned with us along the way.
Of course. And allow me to end this off by sending a little message to Power Gaming from the owner of Shreks. Your power's gonna go out as my Shreks drag you into their swamp, and I don't think you're gonna be coming out unscathed. You all have a good night.